right, gentlemen, listen up. I'll be the third man in here with you all times. Give you command to break, you break cleanly. You score a knockdown. Do not come out of the corner until I give you the signal. Avoid the use your head as a weapon. No rabbit punches or low blows. This is okay here. Let me see this. Lift that shirt up. He's okay there. Protect yourself at all times. Come out fighting at the bell. Touch him up.
Steve, they threatened to break the needle on the scale on this one.
Well, Nick, it's a combined 536 and a half pounds. I hope they stay in the ring, because if they're coming our way, I'm getting out of here. I'm just telling you.
I did triple, believe me, I got on these guys to tighten these ropes just fine before
Good.
they started.
Good move.
Because we would not recover. That would be more than a standing 8 if they fell on us. All right. Wilmer Vasquez has attitude galore. He's in the Venezuelan colors, the gold, blue, and red. He said he could be aggressive, but he's versatile. He can box outside. He can brawl or slug inside. Walks around at 300 pounds because he has big legs, not because he's out of shape ever, Steve. Want to make that clear. But he doesn't look out of shape. Really, he looks like he carries 280 very well. Jerry Butler, on the other hand, is much shorter. He's got to get inside. Lost his last 3. He's never been down, but he's got to work the body, he told us yesterday, of Wilmer Vasquez.
I have never heard of a heavyweight from Venezuela. This is a first.
And, man, I mean, this is a big man, but again, he looks solid. They rocked Butler there with a left hook, and now Butler's into the fight, but he's eating power shots, throwing back, not clinching. This is a scheduled 6-round, obviously heavyweight fight. Vasquez overhand rights. In his 6 fights, he has 4 KOs, no losses. Jerry Butler, again, has lost his last 3.
Well, Nick, when they traded there, Vasquez got the better of it by a lot, and the reason for that, much, much harder shots, good leverage on his shots.
Butler's 27, nice left hook from Vasquez. Tries the overhand right, the uppercuts. He looks very awkward, Vasquez, but is reining in power punches. And Butler elects not to hold on. Vasquez with 6 or 8 punches stops to reload.
4 losses for Butler, only 1 by stoppage.
And never been down again, Steve. So we'll see. This a test for Wilmer Vasquez. Butler's a stayer, if anything else.
Well, someone should tell Butler in the corner, hey, if you hold, you don't get the point deducted.
Yeah.
You know? It might be a good idea when you're getting hammered.
Now
There he goes.
But in action, all of a sudden, it's like Vasquez punched himself out for a moment. He buries a left hook to Butler's easy-to-spot body. Vasquez hands down, but Butler doesn't make him pay at all. Butler's just walking in, chin down, throwing no shots. So Vasquez could treat this like a sparring session, Steve.
No, that's what it is, and he's controlling pace. He's the only one landing punches. See, Butler's idea was to get inside. Makes sense against a much taller opponent, but when he gets inside, he's just taking more shots.
Now he's inside, and Vasquez tries to line him up for a right uppercut. Nothing much on Butler's shots either. And there are on those from Vasquez, pretty big first round. Those shots taken on the gloves by Butler, but he's taken a lot of punishment here in the first. Round 2 of our 8-round heavyweight attraction on Broadway Boxing here from the Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida. Nick Charles and Steve Farhood ringside as usual. Hope you're enjoying this. Jerry Butler went 8 in his last fight, so he's got the round certainly on Vasquez, who stopped 4 of his 6 opponents, 22 total rounds. So you look at it 2 ways. Vasquez needs a few rounds in the bank, and Butler does seem to be a guy who hangs around. But if you're Vasquez, you want to continue to get guys out of there.
Well, you said Butler seems to be a guy who hangs around. Indeed so, if he wants to win instead of just hanging around. When he gets in close like this, he's going to have to outwork Vasquez. So far, Vasquez has thrown many more punches when they've been on the inside. On the outside, it's not a contest. Vasquez has the longer reach. He's much taller. And all Butler can do is cover up, as you see.
Steve, what don't you like in Vasquez from what you're seeing? Very early, but just a critique for a young fighter.
Well, you said he's a strong guy that you know, I think he could, you know, his stomach's pretty big. He could use to lose 15, 20 pounds if he's going to be serious. But he does have the amateur credentials. And right now he looks fine. He's controlling the pace. He's controlling the distance. When Butler gets inside, Vasquez is able to step back and punch at his desired range. So I like that.
Now Butler trying to walk down Vasquez and getting inside and getting a little more active. But there he's doing nothing, and Vasquez could line him up. Left hook from Butler lands, and the crowd gets roused by it. Right cross from Butler, and return fire, the right hand from Vasquez. So now they're starting to slug.
You can get in bad habits fighting a guy who allows you to do whatever you want. That's what's happening to Vasquez right now.
Good point,
He's
Steve.
punching and he's getting hit back because he's not moving his head and he's not stepping back, which he did in the first round.
Yeah, at 6'3", at the superior reach and size, he should be able to control this large ring.
Exactly. Heavyweights very often, especially big ones like this, don't like using their legs. He needs to use his legs to keep Butler exactly where he wants him, which is at the end of his punches, not in his chest.
Give it to Butler. Came in with a combination there, so he's not just walking in anymore without doing anything. And Vasquez has slowed down already in the second round.
Early for that to happen, huh?
Well, we'll see. But I agree. Butler seems to be the slightly busier guy. I'm not saying more effective, but he's ramped up his offense, which was virtually non-existent in the first round. But now Vasquez gets busy.
Could Vasquez be that tired already, or is he just taking a breather here? Hands are by his sides.
Did he win the round? Round 3. How do you have it through 2, Steve?
Very close second round, Nick. I did give it to Vasquez. I have him up 20-18. The first round was borderline 10-8 for me.
Really, yeah. Butler did very little. Butler's in the green. He's shorter. He's got to get inside. He worked a little busier on the inside, was effective in the second. Vasquez took a breather. He fought very much in spurts, and Butler just can't allow that. So if it comes down to a question of condition, Butler's not going to win a Body Beautiful contest by any means, but he is a durable guy who went 8 in his last fight on the road again. Now he tries to wing a left hook. So he's trying to win here, putting punches together, and Vasquez not doing much early in this third.
This round we'll find out, Nick. Probably in the next minute we'll find out if Vasquez was really gassed at the end of that second round or if he was just taking a rest and he can turn it up again.
Yeah, his hands were down, Steve. He just coasted home in that second round, and a very close one. But maybe he's felt what Butler has. He's not concerned. He's got rounds to work with here, and feels, he could dominate him at any time. But it could be a stretch on my part saying that. Butler not the most talented guy, so he's got to be busier.
Also, Butler making a mistake so many fighters make. When he gets close, his feet are totally parallel to each other. No power that way.
Steve, I haven't seen a jab this fight.
These are heavyweights. You want artistry?
You want everything, don't I?
Gene Tunney was the last heavyweight who had artistry.
Yeah, Larry Holmes.
Oh, yeah.
We're kidding.
Anybody that's followed me knows that I'm not usually much of a fan of the heavyweight division, but it has its own set of charms.
It's got its appeal, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we're seeing it here.
Now Butler comes back. Sinking shots to the head of Vasquez. Now Vasquez in tight. Should he be boxing more from the outside, Steve? Why give Butler a chance?
Oh, no doubt, Nick. That's why I said heavyweights don't like to use their legs. I mean, look at the difference in size and reach on these two guys. The only way Vasquez can get hit by Butler is if he's in close, and he's letting Butler get close.
Yeah, that's a little macho move on his part, I would suspect.
That and then possibly not being in the best of shape to keep moving those legs.
You just wonder if Butler's hurting him at all, Steve, or at least, I'm not saying jarring and rocking his world, but Butler doesn't look like he's got a lot of respect for the 281-pound Wilmer Vasquez. Big shots from both men.
Butler's landed more shots this round, but the harder shots by far landed by Vasquez.
Oh, very interesting down the stretch in that one. These are heavyweights. Wilmer Vasquez is unbeaten at 6-0 from Venezuela. He's 281 pounds. in the yellow, blue, and red of his nation's flag colors. Jerry Butler from the Bahamas. Won several Caribbean championships as an amateur. Never been down as a pro, but he's lost his last 3 and is very much the underdog, but a live one, Steve.
He's live. He's trying. You know, he's landing some big left hooks. These guys, you know, they're setting a pace that in spots they're throwing very big shots. And remember, they're big, big heavyweights. So more likely than anything else, the factor that's going to determine the outcome of this fight is how they're going to handle the fatigue that's going to set in. Believe me, heavyweights this size will get tired.
Well, the action slowed a little bit here in the 4th, and the crowd doesn't like it. Butler walking down the bigger Vasquez, but not throwing a single shot.
If Vasquez starts moving and doesn't do much punching, he's going to risk winning the fight and losing the fans.
Vasquez's hands are down. Walking around, Butler with nothing on that left of the body. You know, Butler's shots have nothing on them, Steve. They had a little bit more pop in the first few rounds, and you would think that Vasquez could sense that.
He does, and maybe that's one of the reasons he's getting hit as much as he is, Nick, because the biggest difference in this fight between these two has been the power.
Well, Butler ostensibly could take a shot, but Vasquez has, you know, I wouldn't call them cluster bombs that he's unloaded for a guy 280 pounds. And I'm sure Butler feels them. He's a big man.
This is a big ring. It's almost 22 feet, and Vasquez is not using much of it, to be honest with you.
Well, you hope it's not going to fall into clinch mode. Vasquez just trying to catch Butler leaning with that uppercut. Butler's really lost anything behind those shots.
This is where he should be accelerating. Vasquez is letting him stay in this fight.
No doubt. Vasquez single shots.
Yeah, it's very hard to give Butler these rounds, Nick. He's just not doing enough.
Vasquez may have landed 3-4 shots. But probably enough to win the 4th. Steve, watching the corner of Wilmer Vasquez, his trainer may be asking the impossible, but he wants him to start putting shots together. Jab, right cross, left hook. Would that be asking too much?
Not at all. That trainer, Don Kahn, 25 years ago, he was a regular in the corner of the great Alexis Arguello. A good corner there. But, you know, Vasquez is an Olympian from Venezuela. And I said I never remembered a heavyweight from Venezuela. He himself said, and he would know better than us,
yes.
There are no heavyweights from Venezuela.
Well, we said if he even had any heroes, and he said himself, so. Not short on guile. And self-opinion. Maybe inflated opinion at this point. You want to see more from Vasquez. Butler's not really a tremendous challenge. The only thing he's got to me is durability, even though he doesn't look to be in great shape. He may just have a good chin, but we want to start seeing Vasquez get busier and dominating these rounds if you're going anywhere the kind of game he talks.
Exactly right, because you can't help, he's a heavyweight, you can't help but project what happens when he's in with tougher competition. And this grabbing and lack of punching is not going to work against better guys.
Steve, you know, guys want to see big guys knock people out. They want to see guys throw power shots. He's not going to sell himself like this. And you could say, yeah, well, it's just win, get experience. And he does need some rounds. He's had all of 22 rounds. If he goes 8 tonight, not the worst thing in the world, but how about an active 8 rounds? Now Vasquez getting a little busier, and Butler seemed to be slightly rejuvenated. He's got a little bit more on his punches. Butler continues to come at Vasquez. Vasquez continues to retreat, circle, hands down, looking to time the rushes of Butler occasionally, but almost never in fear that Butler has the kind of power to take him out. And that's the kind of arrogance that could be fatal.
One thing about Vasquez, he's punching about once every 30 seconds, but when he throws that power shot, he's pretty much been very accurate. And that's why he's winning some of these rounds despite his low work rate.
Good observation. Yeah.
When Butler's on the inside again, totally square. Can't get power that way.
We head to the sixth. Jerry Butler in the green and white from the Bahamas. The unbeaten Wilmer Vasquez out of Venezuela, trying to make a statement. Now Butler cracks Vasquez with a left hook, showing signs that perhaps he would wake up and get a little more active. Left hook, right hand from Butler. And you know, if anything else, it's going to make Vasquez get into this fight a little more. He was like falling asleep at the switch to me, Steve.
Those shots were the cleanest shots Butler's landed in the whole fight.
Well, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the round, he's got to do a lot more. Really not showing the 280-pound Vasquez any respect is Butler.
But after that flurry, you saw Butler kind of waving his shoulders and arms back and forth. That's a way of resting. That's all that was.
And Steve, I still don't understand Vasquez. Yeah, he can punch in spurts, punch when he wants, rest like that. But Steve, I know in a 6-round fight, to me, it seems awfully clear that Vasquez should be a lot busier. He's pretty flat-footed now, just pot-shotting from the outside. But to me, even though he's been sharp and accurate, I haven't seen him throw a real damaging shot in a while.
Well, his work rate is abysmal, no doubt about it. He's been 6 once before, so in that sense, working against a guy who's coming forward, coming at him the whole fight is a good experience. But I think Nick is right, and he should have been prepared better for this fight. His legs are not, he's not very active with his feet. He's not moving a lot. He's not ducking when Butler throws that left hook, and those are the problems he has. I think he's got to get in better shape.
And he's just not throwing. Look at how much posing he's doing.
With his hands down, too. Yeah.
Inactivity. We've gone 45 seconds here since he's really thrown a meaningful punch. They trade left hooks, and Butler was a little busier, following with a little right hand.
You always try to get in the judges' heads. I know I do. And while I have Vasquez ahead, the reason I've given him all these rounds is because of his superior punching power. But you wonder if the judges are looking for something a little different. For instance, the fact that Butler has made the fight, has come forward, has been busier at times. You wonder if Butler hasn't won 2 or 3 rounds.
Exactly. Not the fight, but 2 or 3 rounds.
It's where the subjectivity of scoring comes into play. I don't think there's a doubt who's won this round, though.
Vasquez hands down. 2-punch combination, and that's it at the bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Hollywood, after 6 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. Judge Rocky Young scores about 59-55 for Vasquez. Judge Stu Winston scores about 58-56 Butler. Judge Michael Pernick scores about 57-57. We have a draw.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm very happy to see that personally. I give Butler rounds on aggression. I thought the judges, obviously not having Vasquez ahead 59-55, I thought that was a mistake. But I thought Jerry Butler won a lot of those rounds on aggression.